Hello FlossTube, this is Stasha and it's New Year's Eve, and any background noise you hear will be the party my kids are having. So this is going to be my WIP Parade, because I didn't get a lot of stitching done in December. Well, I got some finishes done, but you saw those in my last video. It was part of my November report even though it was December. So we're going to start, though, the WIP Parade with what I am not going to be working on in 2018. So I am not going to be working on Fall Carousel Horse. That's all that's been done on him. I am not working on my Spring Carousel Horse. I am not working on Fortunate Traveler. I have no plans to work on Rose Fairy, although there may get a little work on it, but there's nothing planned for it. I am not planning to work on Tiger Lily. That's Mirabilia's Tiger Lily, and that's all that there is done on that one. I am not planning on working on New Year's Eve Fairy. See a pattern about 200-300 stitches, and then I kind of put it away for a little bit. I am not working on Dragon Doorstop. I am not working on Main Street Stitcher's Paradise. I am not working on my oldest WIP, which is the Pegasus and Butterflies. If I did work on it, the next step is to finish the wings. I am not planning to work on Unicorn and Rainbow, although the next step on that one is to work on the flowers or do the mane. I am not planning to work on my Christmas elf. That was a Risti Pisto kit I got from Finland. I do not have plans to add anything on Sentinel. Although why he has the sticker for Butterfly Pegasus on his back, I don't know. But that's what I have done of Sentinel right now. So what am I going to work on this year? Well, the first thing I plan to work on is I want to finish Stars for a New Millennium. This is a counted canvas piece. I am currently working on Vivian Leigh. I hope to finish, Vivian Lee. I hope to finish Vivian Lee tonight, and then I will work on the center square, and then I'm trying to decide, do I go down or do I go across? I'm thinking it's probably going to be easier if I go down here and then across this way, just because of the way it sits in my floor stand. Oh, by the way, Nicole, that shell needle minder you made me is so perfect. The grooves on the shell are the perfect width for the needle. So I don't know if you can see it, but the needles sit right in the grooves on the shell. So thank you so much for that needle minder. It's just perfect for this. Nicole is also working on Stars for a New Millennium, and she's a little bit further ahead than I am. So also this year, the first cross stitch I plan to finish is Ecology, and I'm almost done with the turtle. I'd like to get that finished in January, but we'll see what happens. As one of the other things I'm planning on working on are the stitch alongs. I have 2 stitch alongs that I joined this year. Yeah, I know, I wasn't going to join any, right? Yeah. So I don't remember which side is which. I think this is the front side. This is my fabric for Into the Jungle. It's a silk weaver solo, I'm pretty sure I'm using this side because there's really nasty slub on the back side. So it's kind of a greenish teal. I have all the threads pulled for that. Except instead of using the Weeks Dye Works, because there's something about Weeks Dye Works, I just don't like the texture on them. So instead of using Weeks Dye Works, I got in touch with Jo Mason, and she's sending me a teal silk. So whatever they use the Weeks Dye Works for is instead going to be teal silk. And while we were talking about it, it hit me, oh, it'd be kind of cool to do the border for the class schedule Sal in silk as well. So there's my fabric for class schedule. What's really cool is Armada Designs is actually here in Utah, and I'm actually going to go pick up my needle minder instead of having her mail it to me. But before I talked to Jo, I was planning on using I was planning on using some of Jo's silk before. I was planning on using the Dinky dyes before she sold it. Instead, I'm going to be using the Silks for You. So, and this is an old silk weaver before they were bought by Zweigart. And I think it's Twilight is the color. But it's a cashel. And I'll worry about putting that back order. And then I started a stitch along last year, but I just didn't keep up with it because of everything else going on in my life. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend that the Fabulous Women's stitch along is this year. And I am just going to do my Fabulous Women along with my other stitch alongs. So I will be finishing January in January. The one thing that worried me about this is I got thinking later in the year as the pattern came out, oh, did I start her in the wrong place? So that's one of the things I'm going to double check is, did I start that in the correct place, or am I too far over to one side? If I'm too far over to one side, I may be picking it out before starting. But we'll see. And this is on a 28 count linen antique lavender, which I got in a clearance bin for $5. So you're saying, hey, Stasha, that's not enough to keep you busy for the year. That's right. As soon as I finish Ecology, this will be my new travel piece. This is Tempest. And then, of course, we have to have 2 Teresa Wentzlers in the rotation. I have Dragon Ride. And Summer Carousel Horse. So those are the ones that I have planned in the rotation. I actually have more of Summer finished than any of the other horses. Although I'm looking at Spring going, how is there more of Summer done? And then I realize there's probably more of the border done on Summer than there is on the others. So that's where I'm at. And if I finish all of that, I have a couple other projects to work on. The next canvas piece I have is the French purse kit that I inherited from my grandmother. There's the front of the purse. Here is the side strap. So this goes in between the front and the back on the bottom. And I was able to get a piece of canvas that is the same count as the front of the purse, because I think the reason my grandma put it up is there's no back. And before I stitched the front, I took a photocopy. So what I'll do is I will use this as my pattern to count the border. And then instead of this floral piece in the middle, I'm going to put, my grandmother and I almost have the same initials. She was Marjorie Smith, and my first initial is M. It's M. Stasha Bates. And so I was thinking if I put the initials MS, well, if I put a large B in the middle and then put M and S on the sides, then I've got my initials and my grandmother's initials on the purse, which I think would be pretty cool. So anyway, that's my second needlepoint project for the year. And then my new start for the year is actually, if you remember my unboxing video, I got a whole bunch of stuff from Erica. One of the things I got from Erica is Noah's Sub. As you can see, Noah's Sub is ABAP, which stands for Big Ass Project. Luckily, it is over halfway done. So this is my new start for this year. Is I have not put any of the stitches in on this. This has all been Erica's work. And she has reached the point where her eyesight is such that she can't stitch anymore, which is one of those things that scares me. And one of the reasons why I probably kind of stopped working on quilts for a while is because I figure if my eyesight goes or my fingers go, I can still push fabric through a sewing machine. I know that's probably a bad way of looking at my stitching hobby, at my quilting hobby, but I figure that's one of the things I'll do when I can't see to stitch anymore. So that's my plan for the year. And with all those other WIPs that I don't plan on working on, you're saying, why are you not planning on working on any of those? It's because when I look at the numbers, I only completed about 123,000 stitches this year. With what I just showed you with the 3 stitch alongs, Ecology, Summer, Dragon Ride, and Stars for a New Millennium. The needle minder's stuck together. That's about 250,000 stitches. So I'm looking at stitching double what I stitched last year, just in these few projects. So just so you know. By the way, just so you know is the name of my blog. Here's my orc jar for the year. At midnight tonight, this will get transferred to an ornament. Pretty colors on the bottom. This was just a jar I got at IKEA for like 50 cents. I'll take it back, it was $1.25. So I put the top on so the dogs can't get into it. However, one thing the dogs did get into was my sponge. If you have ever worked with rayon flosses, a sponge is an absolute necessity. So my husband got me a new sponge that fits in my sponge box. I actually have to fold it over, but that's okay. So this is my new sponge. So what you do when you're working with a rayon thread, so nice I have thread just kind of laying around. This is not a rayon. So you thread your needle, you run the rayon like that, and then you hang it from your magnet so that the needle end is down, weighting it, and it will pull it straight. And that will make working with rayon so much nicer. And there's some of you who go, oh, what about thread heaven? Thread heaven leaves a residue on your thread. Just a sec, I gotta grab a drink. I got something stuck in my throat. So thread heaven leaves a residue on your thread. And it's a chemical residue. It's, you know, I just don't even like using beeswax, which is what they've been using for thousands of years, but I don't know, I've done too much restoration work to trust anything but plain water. So I use water to tame marlet and any other rayon threads like neon rays or in Vivian Lee yesterday. That little purple thread that goes around the outside of that black star, that is called Excel, and it is a rayon that is 6-stranded. And oh my gosh, it was nasty to work with yesterday. But as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to go ahead and work on this while the kids are downstairs having their party. I really expected there would be more noise in this, because earlier I could not hear myself think in here. It was really noisy. And for those of you who've been noticing the background before, you'll notice there are no ponies today. The ponies will be starting a new story next year. We finished up the pony story for this year. Now those of you who haven't noticed the ponies in the background are going, wait, what pony story? My son is a game designer. And I have a whole bunch of plastic toys that I've gotten from McDonald's and other places over the years. And he wrote a 12-part story that we played out in the background behind me. So we're going to write a new 12-part story and start that with my January video. And let's see, was that everything I was going to cover? That, other than the fact that I really hate my hair right now. I'm in that in-between phase where it's too long to do anything with, but it's not long enough to pull it back yet. Oh, this is what I was going to talk to you about. So leadership from the heart, where enthusiasm is everything. I completed my certification from the Og Mandino Leadership Institute, and I am now a certified Og Mandino leadership coach. In one of my past videos, I mentioned my website, coachic.com/mesbates. And you're welcome to go check out the website and take the assessment there. I apologize that I haven't gotten back to Annette and Catherine and given you the results of your assessment. But I will get with you in January and we'll get that done. And that's what I'm doing on the side now. It's just a wonderful way to help people. And, you know, we all get into really bad habits of thinking. And that's what keeps us from moving forward. And this is one of the ways that help you clear those bad habits. And it's really helped me a lot. I've become a lot more organized in my work life, in my personal life, in my stitching life. Let's face it, look how many finishes I had in November. And I've got quite a bit done in December, even with the holidays. But just setting aside time for myself and getting through some of the subjective feelings and thinking more intrinsically has been a really big thing for me. And it's been interesting because it fits right into Agile as well. So with Agile, you're always looking forward for ways for improvement. And with Og Mandino, you're also looking at improving your habits and developing healthy habits. And, you know, if you think you want help with that, please check out my website. I'll put a link in down below. And love to help you with that. Anyway, I'll also put a link into my Google spreadsheets with my plans for this year. It has all my WIPs listed. It has all my kitted projects listed. I showed you all those WIPs. There in Stitchmania, there's a couple places where I've posted what my WIP shelf looks like. That's one cubicle. I have 40 kitted projects in there. And I'm reaching that point where it's like, I know I'm at Sable. And I've had 2 opportunities now to clean out sewing rooms from people who have passed away. And I don't want to leave my family in that sort of situation. So everything is labeled all together. If it's not all together, there's notes in the main part where you can find the other pieces, so that anybody having to clean my room, if heaven forbid something should happen to me, they will be able to find things. So that's my plan for this year, at least what I have so far. In my January video, I am hoping to show you a completed Ecology, a completed Stars for a New Millennium, and be current on my sales. Although if I don't get the floss from Australia, I may not be current on the sales, especially not class schedule. But hopefully I will be current on Fabulous Women and everything but the teal silk on Into the Jungle. Have a Happy New Year, everybody. At 9 o'clock Mountain Time, we've got a Zoom meeting starting that is going to be our virtual New Year's Eve party for the Stitchers. I mean, if my kids are having a party downstairs, I can have a party upstairs with my friends. Anyway, have a Happy New Year. Enjoy 2018. And remember, patterns are just a place to start. Plans are important, but we adapt and change. Enjoy.